Will say it was gross and disappointing. Saying you can guess if Matt is a power bottom via his voice is so gross. But I was right. That was the point.
Ethan Klein has offended the gay community, girl. Attack! The skinny legend has spoken.
Power bottom is a guy who likes to wildly ride the peg of another dude. Okay, we have a call about the top bottom stereotype. Hey, Matt. So, Matt, what have I got wrong?
I know often you feel inclined to describe someone where you think they might be a bottom. And I think that that's often a misconception, that like bottoms may be passive or the...
Well, I just mean that he likes...
This is why this is huge. Majority of the YouTubers you watch, you would think they fall between good or evil, or trustworthy and non-trustworthy. Not all, but some. And then you have some YouTubers who fall on the other side of the spectrum, like these here. Ethan Klein could very well join this side because of his statement said in his latest podcast. This is why it's such a huge deal.
Alright, so Ethan Klein on his podcast yesterday said some very offensive things to people. He even got called out. We have the clip, and we have a lot to say. We have receipts. We have an apology. Some people say it was a fake-ass apology, but we have receipts on all that, so you're gonna be shook, girl. Yes, long-time listener, first-time caller, roll it.
He has some anal leaking. Now, we were saying, well, if he's getting blasted in the ass hard enough, potentially, you may need to wear a diaper. And a lot of you will say, like, okay, we've had a debate, like, I don't think vaginas increase in size from sex, but assholes actually do. If you have a lot of anal sex, you can actually blast open your anus. Frequent anal sex can result in a blasted open asshole. Maybe he's just got railed real hard the night before. He's a power bottom.
No,
that's an option, power bottom.
So wouldn't that mean that the diapers aren't for him, though?
No, if he's on the bottom, he's getting railed. That he's an enthusiastic receiver. Oh my God.
So he's gay.
Power bottom is a guy who likes to wildly ride the peg of another dude.
What are you saying that?
Power bottom is a guy who likes to wildly ride the peg of another dude while he jacks you off until both have bone orgasms. Yeah.
Get down to the power bottom of things here on the A Street Podcast. I love you guys so much, but y'all really need some LGBTQT.
Why?
Shut up.
What did I say wrong?
Shut up.
Colin, if you have a problem with my character...
You got it right. I mean, you literally got it right.
What a power bottom was.
Yeah. Shut up. You don't know anything about our sexuality anyways. The fuck do you know?
That's true.
Yeah.
How dare you assume that none of us are...
You know shit.
LGBTQ+. How dare you assume that? Okay, we have a call about the top-bottom stereotype. Hey, Matt. So, Matt, what have I got wrong?
I know often you feel inclined to describe someone where you think they might be a bottom. And I think that that's often a misconception, that like bottoms may be passive or the...
Well, I just mean that he likes...
partner.
I just mean that he likes to take it up the butt.
But how can you know that about someone?
Well, that was just a theory about because he wears diapers. It's just a theory.
Oh no, there have been times. I think one that comes to mind was maybe Jordan Peterson that you described as probably being someone that would be a bottom. That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. But like I've heard you at times maybe say like, oh, this is someone that might be a bottom. You can't always tell like who's the top, who's the bottom.
So do you find it offensive if I say by being like, oh, he's probably a bottom? Is that the problem?
Absolutely.
It's offensive.
Because the gay men already, you have to deal with certain assumptions about femininity and masculinity.
I mean, it is funny though. I don't know. I think the problem is that the term power bottom is very funny to me. Sometimes, you know, these alpha men give power bottom vibes. I think maybe the joke is the dichotomy of like their persona of ultra masculinity, but then like the joke being that they're a power bottom.
I think the ascription of like throwing out that someone is just a bottom, like because it just ascribing certain roles to people. That's all I'm asking for is just be a little more conscious of it.
So would you consider yourself a top or a bottom, or you don't do that the labels?
And I mean this with all peace and love and with respect, Ethan. It's none of your business.
But you have a preference one way or the other?
but that's another dangerous assumption too.
Can I
a
guess?
lot of gay men don't.
You tell me if it's right, if I guess right?
No.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to get into it, Matt, but we all know which one you prefer.
But as long as you understand where I'm coming from on this.
To be honest, I don't really.
Okay,
to be on the
what do you
bottom
think
is
a
to
power
give.
bottom
It's
is?
to give. You know, it's a gracious thing to give and to receive like that.
Power bottom is a bottom who is just the more active bottom.
Oh, okay, I see. So they'll ride it. They can ride. A power bottom will ride it, where a regular bottom will
And they'll
just
be-
kind of lay there. So the power bottom is someone who rides enthusiastically. You don't need diapers
I'm
or
also-
anything, right? But like, if you are a regular receiver of anal sex, and I'm not saying you are, I don't know. But if you were, does the poop pass like any differently from before? Or is it all normal functions? Like I get it doesn't leak out, but I wonder if it just comes out a little different. If you're on the bottom,
really
it doesn't
know.
mean you're like a beta. You could be alpha and also still be on the bottom. Especially if you're a power
Right,
bottom,
but
because you
just-
ride
but-
that.
but-
shit.
Because
Like
it's about
theoretically,
you.
Jordan Peterson, if he was a power bottom, he could still be alpha because he rides it with gusto.
You'd
and
ride it
grace.
in a vengeful way. So yes, I think that'd be alpha. Yeah.
People are saying I'm Bruno of the gay community. I think we need an alpha bottom. I think we need more distinctions. We need alpha bottom and beta bottoms. More distinctions. So who is gay?
Doesn't that make you gay?
Does it make you gay?
And I got
Apologies to whatever his name was. Apparently, I was homophobic to him. But whatever. What can you do? People say it was gross and disappointing. Saying you can guess if Matt is a power bottom by his voice is so gross. But I was right. That was the point. Wasn't I? He admitted.
Yeah, of course you were right. And honestly, just so over these fucking people. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. It's a
funny.
fucking entertaining show. Shut the fuck up.
Someone says, I don't know what's up.
So disappointing.
Someone said, I
Grow
don't-
up. Jesus fucking
Dan,
Christ.
Dan.
I don't know what's up with Ethan today, but something's off. Bad vibes this episode.
Shut the fuck up. Unsubscribe. Go away. Jesus Christ.
Someone said, it sometimes feels like Ethan thinks LGBTQ plus people are exotic or something. It's super uncomfy. Yeah, I think y'all need to fucking... Do you think it's hard for a straight person to understand how it feels to always have people define you by how you prefer sex? Is that a valid criticism?
No, I'm so fucking frustrated with these people.
So wait,
Shut the
what was
fuck
I?
up.
Where did I even? Do you think some of y'all are way too fucking sensitive
You know-
for the show? To be totally honest, like people in this thread who are saying they're grossed out and whatever. I think you're really. I think this with peace and love, you might be too sensitive to watch this show. If you're watching this show and you're perpetually offended by things I'm saying, you may want to just stop watching. Like genuinely, like does get annoying with some of y'all getting offended all the time. Come on, you talking about power bottoms is like me asking Ela if she likes it in the front or back. Does she ride your cock or like you pounding her? Respect, Matt. Not cool, dude.
Okay, so we have a lot to say. Please put your comments down below before we get started, because I already know y'all are going to have a lot to say about this drama. Leave it down below, girl, because I read the comments. Unlike some YouTubers, don't be reading the comments. And, you know I have the receipts, girl. Woo! Before we get into that, I want to say that this video is sponsored at the house by Manscaped. Thank you, Manscaped, for sponsoring this video. It is April Testicular Cancer Awareness Month. So if you have one of the Manscaped 4.0s or the Crop Mop, which this is actually really good. If it gets sweaty down there, this is a wipe for that area. A portable wipe for that area. You can use it to feel around if you feel any lumps or bumps. One of the symptoms of having testicular cancer, and there's so much information about it. Head on over to manscaped.com. There's a whole landing page about information about testicular cancer, how to check if you have it, and all that. And I think it's a really, really good cause. So thank you, Manscaped, for sponsoring this video. I'll put my link down below, and also the discount automatically applies at checkout. Shipping to New Zealand, Australia, and the United Kingdom. It's waterproof, TSA friendly, and rechargeable. So thank you, Manscaped, for sponsoring this video and bringing awareness to testicular cancer. All right, let's get on with this drama. That was like a piece of it. That was like a little piece of it. Well, Ethan Klein has issued an apology. Ethan Klein's fake apology, girl. Here we go. You know how the internet is, girl. You know how the internet is. So Ethan says this, because the receipts go as follows. To my LGBTQ plus fans, I'm sorry for comments on today's video. The sexualization of gay men and the grouping of tops and bottoms is a stereotype that we'll be trying to unlearn. Apologies to the caller, who I shouldn't have pressed inappropriately. Hope you guys know I always mean well. Well, girl, a little bit too late because people are already adding GLAAD, adding YouTuber, that this podcaster is in YouTube creator program and is paid for his content. Kat Nicole said, love that the group of guys who are supposed to be open to free speech, criticism, feedback, debate can't handle a little heat and disagreement. I rarely comment. The one day I do, I get banned from their dying sub. Ironic. H3H3 Productions love to have a civil convo. Apparently they're blocking people and stuff like that. Here's what I have to say about the situation. Okay, I've said this before with peace and love, and like even watching the interaction with Ethan Klein, the caller, he seemed like in that moment, like it literally felt like he was like, you could just tell that he was like, oh man, like
I love you guys so much, but y'all really need some LGBTQT.
Why? What did
Shut up.
What did I say wrong?
Shut up.
Colin, if you have a problem with my character,
You got it right.
like here's the situation, right? Oh my god, you're gonna come for me, whatever. Okay, so first of all, with respect, Ethan Klein has this panel of people, right? They're like off to the side and they're commentary. They're cracking jokes or whatever, right? It seems like college humor. I don't know, the boys club. Like, it just seems very much like kitchen table talk. Some of the conversations shouldn't be aired, but it did. It just, you feel so comfortable with talking to the camera and to the audience that you feel like they're gonna get you, but you do offend people. Do I think that Ethan Klein is homophobic? No, I do not think so. What I do think is that Ethan Klein could have a lot more education about the situation. And on top of that, he needs to broaden the group of people that he has on this show that work for him. Like, I don't really see any black people there. I don't really see people of color there, period. I don't really see any trans people there. I don't see any gay people there. I'm just saying, to me, it just seems like a bunch of white people sitting around shooting this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how I see it, right? And maybe that's his audience, but it's like, if you're going to be talking about interesting topics, it's great to have some people who maybe can speak on that. That way, Ethan Klein can say, well, I don't know much about that. What do you think about that? Are you part of that community? Like, so now here we have Ethan Klein has offended the LGBTQ plus community. One of the most vicious communities on YouTube. So, I don't know. It's a very interesting thing because it's very long, and I'm gonna admit I haven't watched the entire thing. I mean, girl, I post 2 videos a day, make love to my husband, cook, clean, go to the shower, go to the dentist, work out, post the videos, edit the videos, get ready for the next video. And I got time to sit up here and watch a 3-hour podcast every single day that I can't. So I watched like the highlights of it. From what I seen, it seemed like Ethan Klein was shooting the breeze with his friends and offended some people because it is offensive. Like, literally, I saw this comment that was like, for those of you in the scope, and I'm gonna like drive it in right here. They were like, he was like, oh, top and a bottom. Are you a top or a bottom, right? Which, I guess, to me, I grew up around people asking that and just, it's like so annoying. It's so annoying, girl. But it's rude, right? But it's so annoying. But it's different coming from somebody who, like, knows me or somebody who's, like, maybe interacted with me asking. I kind of get that. It's like, maybe they want to know. I don't know. It could be rude within itself, too. But it's like almost asking Gila Klein, his wife, oh, do you like it from the back? Do you like doggy style? Like, it's just kind of rude. And so for him to say that, because he's not in the community, so he's asking another gay person, or a person in the community, I don't know, I didn't see the other person, but like asking them, oh, you a top or a bottom? And like, and then going on to say that if you have vaginal, it gets tighter quicker, but if you have anal, it doesn't. It's gonna stay loose. Like, it was this very college table talk. Keep that within your little group of friends over there, because by saying that on YouTube, it comes across very bad. And that's why he issued an apology. And to some people, a fake-ass apology. The thing with Ethan Klein, and I'm going to be 100% truthful, and I hope he watches this part, because I know how some people like to clip parts and make it all shady. I think that Ethan Klein is a good person. But there are times that he does stuff, and I'm like, oh, shut up. You should not shut up. Like, that's kind of how I feel. But it's there. Like, the essence of a good person is there. And I feel that way about a lot of creators. I feel that way about Trisha. Like, it's there. Like, the essence of a good person. But then I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing? Shut up. Shut up. Like that. Keemstar. The list goes on and on. Jeffree Star. Like, girl, the list goes on and on. You see that inkling of good in these people, right? And you give them the benefit of the doubt. And then they say something stupid, and you're just like, girl, it makes it hard for you to be a subscriber, to be a fan, to be a follower, to buy their merch. Because it's like the internet never forgets, and they're going to be like, oh, and the internet's so shady. Do you know Ethan Klein's homophobic because he said this 5 years ago? And you're like, what? He did? And then people forget, or they remember, or they bring it back up. He apologized. But every time people apologize on the internet, it's like, oh, it's never good enough. You want to know my opinion on the situation? I think it was a stupid joke. I do think it was a joke. I think it was very stupid. I don't think it was in great taste, because I wouldn't call Hila Klein and be like, hey, like from the back, doggy style. Like, I just wouldn't. It's just like rude. But because he's not in the community, he didn't see it that way. Maybe now he does. Maybe now he does. But there's so much more to this. It's because he just doesn't know, and he needs to educate himself more. But it's like there's no point in him educating himself more, because he's not in this bubble of the LGBTQIA community. He's in this privileged white bubble, and I could be wrong, forgive me if I am, but like, I don't know. I mean, he's very well off financially, but so maybe he just doesn't know anything about that. But like, again, he doesn't have anybody on his team that is trans or LGBTQ. He just had babies. Maybe one of them might be gay. Who knows? Or a part of the LGBT community. Who knows? I don't know. I do not think that he is homophobic. I don't think so. I got this interesting comment, if I can find it, and I found it very, very, very interesting. Adam McIntyre posted, newest H3 podcast has so many homophobic undertones. People might call them microaggressions toward the community. What do you guys think about that? I really want to know. There's so much more that could be said about the situation. It's just a lot to unpack right now. I do want to say this 100% wholeheartedly. He issued the statements in his podcast, in the video, but his apology was in a text form on Twitter. Probably one of his least engagements platforms, who knows. That's like me. You guys know I'm on TikTok, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Snapchat. And that's like me issuing an apology on my lowest form, least engaged platform. Girl, you said it in a YouTube video, put it in a YouTube video. When he got called out for saying the N-word, he made a YouTube video addressing it on his other channel. I'm just saying, if this is the case, put it in a YouTube video and apologize. Milk it for views, girl. That's what these people do. Have your little handkerchief. You already know how they do. Have your little handkerchief. You gotta put it right there. My apology. And then he taught and said, giving us an apology. You said it in the video. Give us an apology in the video. That's all. That's the one thing I do want to say. Y'all might agree, disagree, because some of y'all be like, "Well, it's not that big of a deal." I mean, at least he apologized. At least he did apologize, because some people don't apologize. They just don't. Some people just have so much pride and ego that they do not apologize and do not say, "I'm sorry" to this person. They don't do that. It's blanket apology. And again, I always want to say, and I have to eat my own words, girl. It's like when people apologize, sometimes we just have to accept that apology, because saying to them, well, you didn't apologize for this, and you didn't apologize for this, this, and this, they issue a blanket apology. And sometimes for those people, that is like moving mountains for them just to even apologize for that. We live in a world where some of these people, they just don't apologize. I don't understand why it's so hard for people to admit when they're wrong. Ethan Klein did in a text form. I personally would have liked to seen it in a video because it happened in the video. And then further on to say, and you know what? I'm going to educate myself on the LGBT community. And you know what? Maybe I'll think about hiring somebody who's a part of that community to work on this team. I don't know. I could be wrong, right? With peace and love. Ethan Klein has always been super nice to me. He's acknowledged I even exist, which is huge. I mean, I see so many people, and which is so interesting to me. So many people say, "Oh, it's my dream to be on H3 podcast." I would love for Ethan Klein to acknowledge me. I would love it. Like, people say that. So I'm grateful that he has shouted me out and has noticed me. And I am a part of the LGBT community. So to sit there and say, oh, he's homophobic, I don't think that he is. Why? Because if he truly was, he would not even utter anyone's name as part of the LGBT community. He wouldn't even want them on the show, wouldn't even want to talk about them, wouldn't even want to voice them, much less Trisha claims that she's non-binary, non-conforming, and thinks that she's this and this and that, all these other things, and Chicken Nugget. So she was on the show. So I just don't think that he's homophobic. I think that what he said was wrong, and he apologized, and I think he should say it in a video apology. Why he hasn't, as of the time of making this video, he hasn't. Maybe by the time this video goes up, he might have. What does Gila think about all this situation? It's just too much kitchen table talk on that podcast, which is what makes it a great podcast, because people like real. People like to keep it real. They want to be funny. And when you give something real, people get offended by it, because not everybody's on the same page here. It's so interesting. It's like you want it, but then when you get it, you're like, oh, it's too much. Ethan Klein doesn't know much about the LGBT community, the LGBTQIA experience. But he's sitting there passing these jokes, and that person on the phone, which I am shocked that the person on the other side of the phone had the guts to say, hey, you know what? What you just said right there is not okay. And I'm kind of offended by it. I was kind of shocked by that, because most people, this is what I think threw Ethan Klein off. To even get through on that phone, to get on the Ethan Klein podcast, H3 podcast, H3 Productions, it's like, it's a huge deal. To these people, it's a huge deal. So the caller usually is like, oh, I'm so excited to be on the show. I've looked up to you. You're such an icon. We stand a skinny legend. They're super excited to even be talking to him. Okay? This person, all that was just thrown out the window. All that wasn't even there. They're like, because you just have to put yourself, like, if you're like a mega fan and somebody says something offensive to you, usually you're such a mega fan, you don't say anything about it. You're just like, oh, well, I'm just going to let it go. I mean, because, like, it's so much happening at once. I finally get to talk to him, and he offends me, but I'm so happy he's here. And but that fan literally was like, no, wait, hold on, wait a minute. Let me put my opinion up in it. And it caused all this drama. And Ethan Klein should have, with the quickness, nipped it in the bud right there and be like, hold on. What do you mean? Oh, hold on. First time, long time listener, first time caller. I just want to say this. I want to apologize. I do not know much about that. Maybe we can have you on. Can we schedule them on if you would like to? And we can have a segment, and you can educate us about it, because that's something I don't know about. Nipped it in the bud right there. And none of these people on the team were like, nobody was like, wait, Ethan, hold on. What is it that Ethan Klein said that offended you? What part? Oh, that part? Ethan, what do you think about that? Boom, he should apologize. I'm not going to do it anymore. And you know what? It is like you asking my wife or me, do you like this position? And it's like, it's too much. It's just like, but it's in those moments that he has all those staff there, and nobody decided to do that, to the point where, like, he still has to make a public tweet apology. And here we are talking about it, and people are unsubscribing because of that. It just seems like there's this huge circus going on, and it's like unorganized chaos. Because if it was my show, it would have been handled a little bit differently. If he had somebody who was a part of the LGBTQIA community on his staff, it would have been handled a little bit differently. He needs LGBTQI people on his staff, which I don't think he does. I could be wrong. But, I mean, I don't want to offend anybody. It's so hard to get up online like Ethan Klein does, like I do, like millions and millions of other YouTubers do, and give their opinion. And you have to be like, if what I just said offended somebody, because there are times that I've offended people and I didn't even mean to. I would issue an apology, they're not even going to accept it. They're like, in their eyes, once you said it, that's it. There's no turning back. There's nothing you can do or say. And it's so interesting because some YouTubers can get away with saying things and apologizing or forgiving, and other ones can't. It's like the community pick and chooses who lives on that day, whose career will forever have a beauty mark on it that day, or whose career will just sweep it under the rug. And I see it all the time. The hypocrisy of it all. So in a way, I want to like say that what Ethan Klein says was not okay and it was offensive. I could see how it was a joke. It was a joke that should have been held within his friends and the kitchen table talking his little corner of straight guys and woo woo woo, whatever they do, girl. But like, at least he apologized. I accept the apology. I'm part of the community. Because who am I to pass judgment on Ethan Klein and be like, well, that's it. He's forever ruined. We're never going to give him a second chance. He could be a great ally and spread awareness with the platform that he has. At least he apologized and recognized his mistake, because he easily could have been like, oh, girl, y'all can't take a joke to house. Oh, these people are just so sensitive. He easily could have brushed it off like that and then offended more people. But when you're online, like Ethan Klein is, you're bound to offend people, and you're bound to make mistakes, and you're bound to not see things the way people normally see them because you're not part of that marginalized community. I don't think Ethan Klein knows what it is to walk in shoes of a transgender or gay or someone part of the LGBT community or bisexual lifestyle or someone of color. I don't think he knows that. He could if he had people around him and be like, I was hanging out with my really good friend and I can see how they struggle. I don't ever see that, right? I think that he's so smart and so successfully and wealthy, but he's missing those opportunities where he could get to know and broaden his horizon and his viewpoints on life. With all that money and all that availability to do things, to grow as a person, I think maybe he should. But then he's like, he has kids, he has a wife, he has his show. So maybe he's not thinking about wanting to do stuff like that. And I respect that too. But I just think it's so crazy how people ride for people so hard, and the minute they say one thing, they just jump ship. Oh, he's canceled the house. I'm never going to support him in the house, and cash in for views and clicks. To me, that's so, I don't know. It's just so like wishy-washy like that, One of my biggest downfalls as a person is that, oh, you're just too loyal to people. Rich is just too loyal to people. I guess because I'm a Leo, and Leos are loyal. I just can't be wishy-washy like that, girl. I really can't. Like, if I F with you, I F with you. And if I don't, girl, I don't. And some people have too much pride and ego, and they want you to bow down for them, and I don't do that. Now, girl, please, pay you dust the house. People get all upset about that. And that's the reason why the lights went out in Georgia.